we were all sleeping. It was about like 4 to 5 a.m. I don't really remember. And then suddenly I woke up and I found everything kind of like gone. And then I started shouting because I thought I was dreaming. My oldest nephew, he started shouting back at me. So I knew I wasn't dreaming.
Svona lýsir Asil nóttinni sem sneri líf hennar á hvolf þann 17. október fyrir rúmu ári, en þá gerði Ísraelsher loftárás á hverfi þar sem hún bjó tímabundið. Foreldrar hennar, systir, mágur og 3 ungir systursynir höfðu leitað þar skjóls hjá vinafólki eftir að hafa verið ráðlagt að yfirgefa heimili sitt í grennd við landamæri Ísraels.
People came and they tried to help us from under the rubble. They tried to like move us away so the ambulance would come and take us. But we were like separated. So I was with my youngest nephew and the other ones, no.
You were conscious the whole time?
Asil var flutt á sjúkrahús og á næstu dögum fékk hún smám saman fréttir af því að móðir hennar, systir, mágur og 5 ára systursonur væru öll látin. Aðeins 2 frændur og faðir hennar voru enn á lífi en allir 3 voru alvarlega særðir.
My father was alive. He couldn't get the medical treatment. There were like no painkillers, nothing. So they did a lot of operations, but it didn't work. So he passed away at the beginning of November. It was terrible.
Sjálf var Asil illa slösuð. Hún var með fjölmörg beinbrot og brunasár víða líkamann. Fljótlega kom í ljós að vinstri fótleggur hennar var svo illa farinn að honum varð ekki bjargað. Hann var fjarlægður fyrir ofan hné.
When did you know that they would have to amputate the leg?
I actually knew from the beginning because it felt kind of weird, my leg. But I was telling the ambulance man, oh my God, they will, like my leg is gone and everything. And I was like shouting and crying. He was like, no, the doctors will fix it. But it was totally smashed. I know it. It was so hard because it came like really suddenly. I was sleeping and then suddenly it's gone. When you're living your normal life, you won't realize like what you were having. But then when you lose it all at sudden, then you will like realize what you were having and all these things.
Asil var yngst 5 systkina en bræðurinnar 3 höfðu allir flúið heimalandið fyrir nóttina örlagaríku. Suleiman bróðurinnar fór árið 2017 og hafði búið á Íslandi í 4 ár. Hann barðist fyrir því að fá systur sína til Íslands. Það tókst, hún fékk ríkisborgararétt og kom hingað skömmu eftir áramót.
Did you know anything about Iceland before you came here?
No, but I just knew it's very cold.
Anything that surprised you after coming?
Maybe everyone knows each other. Yeah. This is my friend, this is my cousin.
It is strange.
Nú í haust hóf Asil nám í kvennaskólanum á nýrri íslensku braut fyrir nemendur af erlendum uppruna. Samhliða því tekur hún áfanga á öðrum brautum, til dæmis í stærðfræði. Hún framúrskarandi námsmaður, var iðulega efst í sínum árgangi í skóla og á ekki langt að sækja hæfileikana. Móðir hennar var háskólagengin og faðir hennar prófessor í sögu og síðar rektor við háskólan í Khan Yunis í Palestínu.
I'm learning to talk Icelandic. Góðan daginn.
Góðan daginn.
Hvað ertu þú? Hvaðan ert þú?
Mjög gott. Allt að koma.
Já.
Námið á íslensku braut tekur 2 ár, en eitt af lokamarkmiðum þess að opna möguleika á frekara námi við íslenska framhaldsskóla. Asil segist sjá framtíðina fyrir sér á Íslandi og markmiðið að klára háskólanám með glans.
What is your life like now?
I go to school and then I study or I go out, hang out. I talk with my friends and sometimes I go to Össur. They met the whole lake together and they helped me a lot with the adjustments.
Já, Össur hefur verið Asil dýrmætur haukur í horni. Hún segist enn vera að venjast nýjum veruleika en batinn hefur gengið vel, meðal annars vegna einstakrar þrautsegju hennar og fyrir 2 mánuðum náði hún að leggja hækjunum sem höfðu fylgt henni frá því hún vaknaði á sjúkrahúsinu.
That must be a big difference.
Yeah.
What about your mental health? Because obviously it's been really hard, everything you've been through.
I'm trying to deal with it, but sometimes I have nightmares or I think about it a lot and I want to go back in time. And I remember the things that I did, because I used to tease my nephew a lot because we were so close. And I think about all the moments that happened.
Systursynir Asil sem voru aðeins 7 og 2 ára þegar þeir slösuðust og mistu báða foreldra sína og bróður dvelja nú hjá föðurfólki í Dubai. Asil og bróðurinnar eru í miklum samskiptum við þá. Asil segir nánast óbærilegt að hugsa til þeirra barna sem enn eru föst á Gaza.
The children of Gaza are having a really bad time right now, struggling a lot, and a lot of babies, they lost their 2 legs or their 2 arms or maybe the 4 of them. They have a lot of burns and a lot of bad injuries that you can't even imagine, and some of them are dying from not having food. A lot of them lose their parents, and maybe they lost the whole family and just one survived, and it's a baby. He can't be responsible for himself.
Hún hvetur þá sem geta til að leggja sitt af mörkum.
I think it's very important to donate to the UNICEF because they're helping children who's going or struggling because of something that they have no hand on it. Icelandic community also helped me, so I know how it feels and they have a really big effect in my life story. So I'm very thankful, and in the future I will try to give back what they give me.